Okay, so we were checking the brake canister. We're checking the brake canister. We're checking the slack adjuster for no more than 1 inch play. We're checking the brake pads and brake linings. The brake pad should be at a minimum of 1/4 inch. I'm checking the inside of the rim for any visible damage, any road debris that could have been brought up in there. I'm also checking the inside of the brakes for any broken, loose, or missing parts, excess grease or oil. Again, we're checking all 3 sides of the tire. And what I mean by all 3 sides, the inside, the outside, and the top, for any cuts, gouges, or bubbles that can indicate the tire is going to fail. I'm looking for flat, even tread wear on the top at a minimum of 230 seconds on rear tires, and rear tires can be recaps. I'm also checking the tire spacer, or the wheel spacer, to make sure that there's no road debris in there. I'm checking my rim for any visible damage, cracks, welds, holes that aren't supposed to be there. I'm checking for shiny threads on the lug nuts. And I'm also looking for rust rings forming around the lug nuts, which could indicate a loose lug nut. I'm checking my hub axle seal to make sure that it's not leaking. Checking my valve stem to make sure that there's no visible damage. I'm also checking tire air pressure. Only 2 acceptable methods: valve stem or valve pressure gauge, or tire thumper. I'm going to continue along. I said leaf springs. I said that. These wheels, we're going to check them the same way as those. Same thing as a hub axle seal. From there, I'm going to check my mud flat to make sure that it's in place, securely fastened. I'm going to check on the back. I'm going to check my landing deck for any debris, any visible damage. We don't want debris on it that can fall off, create a hazard for anybody. Checking my safety chains to make sure that they're in place and securely mounted. Checking the tailgate to make sure everything's working properly. Okay. Everything's securely mounted, nothing's going to fall off, create a hazard. Checking my tailgate latch to make sure that my tailgate is latched properly. From here, I'm also going to check both of my turn signals, make sure that they're clean, operating properly. Check my reflectors to make sure that they're clean and securely mounted. From here, I'm going to check my turn signals again to make sure that they're operating properly. I'm going to check my running lights to make sure that they're clean and operating properly. I'm going to check my pintail hook on this truck and trailer to make sure that it's grabbed on right, that it's engaged right. I'm checking my electrical lines to and from the trailer to make sure they're not pinched, any bare wires or anything like that. I'm going to check my license plate to make sure that it's clean and visible. I'm going to check my glad hands to make sure that the connections are made correctly. I'm checking all hoses leading to and from the truck and trailer to make sure that there's no leaks. And I'm also making sure that my safety chains are in place. From there, I'm going to go ahead and continue to check the frame of the trailer. I'm looking at the catwalk, or the tongue of the trailer, for any visible damage or any road debris that could have been picked up. I'm also checking my landing gear to make sure that it operates properly. Continue to check the frame of the trailer. Just to streamline, I'm going to go ahead and check all my reflector or my running lights to make sure that they're clean, securely mounted, and operating properly. I'm also checking my reflective tape to make sure that it's clean and visible. Checking my landing deck. Right now we do have cargo, so we need to go ahead and make sure these straps are retightened right now that before we get on the road. We're checking the landing deck again to make sure that there is no visible damage. All the boards are in place. I'm going to continue to check the frame of the trailer. There is no visible damage, there is no cracks, welds, anything like that. Check my cargo hooks. Make sure that they're going to hold my cargo when I'm driving. These tires here, I'm going to check them exactly the same way as I check the truck. Continue to move down, checking the reflectors, checking the running lights. I'm going to make sure that my ramps are up safely and secure. They're not going to fall off. I'm going to check my turn signals to make sure that they're clean and operating properly. I'm also going to check my license plate to make sure that it's clean and visible. From here, everything's the same on this side. that we just named on that. We're going to continue to check the frame, reflectors, wheels, tires, frame. This truck and trailer doesn't have an extra toolbox like the other one does. The only thing different on this side from the other side is we have our exhaust. We're going to check the exhaust to make sure that there's no holes, any visible damage. We don't want exhaust leaks entering the cab or the sleeper berth. We're also going to check this toolbox to make sure that it's securely fastened, there is no visible damage, that everything operates properly. So we're working down. We checked all our reflectors, everything's the same, the wheels, the tires, the slack adjusters, everything's the same. The frame, the drive shaft, steps, fuel tank. There is no fuel tank on that side. So we're checking our fuel tank for any visible damage. We're checking our caps on and tight. We're checking the rubber spacer between the strap and the tank, because metal on metal will cause a hole to be worn in the tank. Checking the steps, those are the same. And that should conclude my whole walk around of the truck and trailer.